Okay, so shaving is crazy weird. Am I the only one who thinks that? Not to mention how the act is widely accepted in society and the media, even praised. But body hair usually isn't. Hell, when I search how to care for my body hair, the first thing that pops up is how to freaking remove it. There are a few articles that give advice about the topic, but it's nothing wild since not many go natural. Shaving has been around for longer than most know. There are even some records that show drawings on cave walls that reveal prehistoric people shaving with clamshells, flint knives, and even shark teeth. Circular solid gold or copper razors can also be found as far back as the 4th millennial BC in some Egyptian tombs. It's said that other cultures even sharpened volcanic obsidian glass and used those. Obviously, we're not accustomed to those same practices as we use razor blades as a form of shaving, though it's not as if razor blades just popped out of the ground like a gift from nature to trim the hedges that emerge from our pods. Designs for safety razors date back to at least 1762, but they didn't really catch on until 1828, when they debuted in, excuse me if I mispronounce this, Sheffield, England? Oof, sorry, I think I just butchered that. If you're wondering why they label them as safety razors, then maybe take a look at its predecessor. In 1847, a man named William Henson invented the hoe-shaped razor that most of us have in our own houses. And in 1895, a traveling salesman named King Camp Gillette combined this shape mentioned previously with the idea of shaving with a disposable double-edged blade. The resulting safety razor eventually made Gillette a fortune and solved the hassle of having to remove the razor's blade to sharpen it every few shaves. Regarding the women of the early 20th century, they didn't really care much if they had leg or underarm hair, and it's shown throughout advertisements in the fashion of the time. At that time, their clothes were so concealing that it was rare to see legs or underarms, so removing hair there wasn't a concern. Before the 1910s, depilatories, hopefully I pronounced that right, which is a cream or lotion that removes unwanted hair, was primarily used by actresses or dancers or for surgery. It's said that around 1915, a shift took place when advertisers started to target underarm hair, usually for various hair removal creams. Any trend in sleeveless dresses, often inspired by Greek and Roman clothing, exposed women's previously covered arms. That, of course, led the industry to conclude that underarm hair was quote-unquote undesirable. If you're aware of the roaring 20s in Western society, then you may be familiar with the revealing attire that resulted in many women removing their body hair due to the marketing strategy of preying off of insecurities. Oddly enough, the removal of body hair wasn't normalized until the near end of the 50s, fully transforming American hair. It's said that by 1964, 98% of American women ages 15 to 44 reported that they removed some body hair. Big time skip, but let's look at where we are now. The 21st century, where people usually shave for the same reasons they did in the past. Some claim that they take part in the practice for cleanliness. A few others claim that they're just doing so for vanity purposes, while some genuinely don't know. Though is body hair truly unclean? And what about body hair causes some to cringe or confront the feeling of embarrassment? The misconception of body hair being unhygienic is borderline baffling, as I learned that the scalp sweats similar to the rest of our body, but not many shave their head to become clean. It's even possible that the skin is a better environment for bacteria, and removing hair actually encourages bacterial growth. So when hair is removed, all the sweat and bacteria will still be there, just directly on the skin and clothes. Not to mention that cuts on the skin due to shaving can cause infection, and is probably the biggest argument against hair removal being more hygienic. In addition, there is also evidence from comparisons regarding hospital workers who shave their facial hair and those who don't that suggests that shaved skin harbors more dangerous types of bacteria, such as Staphylococcus aureus, and may therefore be more vulnerable to infection. Hair removal by shaving before surgery is also associated with an increased chance of infection. As stated previously, shaving the surgical site is actually supposed to reduce the chance of infection, but a meta-analysis published in the Journal of Hospital Infection in 2015 found that the opposite is actually true. Although the situation is a bit different from someone shaving at home, as the subjects in these studies are likely to have health problems and be exposed to hospital-acquired infections, the results of these studies could still be relevant. since it does suggest that shaving makes the body more vulnerable to infection. Additionally, other methods of hair removal such as hair removal creams and clipping didn't seem to prevent infection either, compared with not removing hair at all. This might suggest that hair isn't as dirty as we think it is. To address the vanity portion of hair removal, I honestly and personally don't see the appeal. I remember receiving loads of body hair around the time when I was 12. You know, around the time that puberty took place. What annoys me, you know, looking back, is how I immediately started to shave without a second guess or without an actual reason to continue. I suppose it was because of the stigma placed on particularly girls at the time, that body hair was unhygienic, or that I wouldn't be found attractive by those I was interested in. I remember being in class and one of my friends pointed out my mustache. I was so embarrassed and ashamed that the same day I went home and decided to shave every inch of my body from the neck down. I guess I was afraid that, you know, why did I ever feel that doing so was necessary? Only for all the hair to grow back in the next month, causing me to see myself as a tame Wookiee. As a little Wookiee. I'm not here to shame anyone or to tell anyone to not have control over your own body. If you want to shave, then go ham, but please do so because you want to. And also be like really safe with it, exfoliate, you know, do your research, take care of your body, you know? Your body is your body. And I know that you're beautiful regardless of how much body hair you have or how much it shows. I understand wanting to wear a tank top, but fearing the looks you'll receive when you decide to just wave to someone. I've been the one who was embarrassed to sit near someone and for them to notice the peach fuzz on my upper lip, my slight unibrow, my hairy arms, and hairy knuckles. Though as of age, I've realized that it's impossible to please everyone, and that the comfort I feel living in my own body is true beauty to me. I feel as if that's all we really need to think about regarding the end game of body hair. Personal comfort. I remember chatting with someone and they mentioned how they prefer their partner to be shaved. This is gonna get a little TMI, but they prefer their partner to be shaved because they didn't want to get the hair in their mouth during certain activities. Which is odd, because if you're doing it right, then you wouldn't be making constant contact with your partner's hair down there. Though I'm not qualified to discuss this topic, I do believe that communication should take place before any activities, you know, regarding sex. So if your partner is okay with shaving their no square down there, then that is their prerogative. And I hope you prepare for the friction. I just don't think that it should be expected, as a completely shaved area resembles kind of a baby to me, and I kind of think that's a little off. Most get their body hair during the time when they're changing all over the place and becoming an adult. So to me, when I hear certain individuals fantasize about no hair on a woman's body, it almost comes across as glorifying the pubescent body of a child. Maybe I'm overstepping. Long story short, most bods grow hair, and whatever you decide to do with that hair is up to you. With that being said, make sure that you don't allow any bitterness or misconceptions to make that decision for you. Anyways, my name is Kiloh, and I guess I'll chat with you guys next time.